Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I am making a gluten-free supper, something that we have fairly often, and as I just got back from Italy recently, yes, Italy, more to come on the Italy vlog, but as I just recently came back from Italy, I did learn how to make my own homemade pasta, which I am excited to eventually start doing that, but tonight is not the night to start that. I am making something that I make often, which is spaghetti, and I am gluten-free, so my family naturally also follows the gluten-free diet, simply for the fact that I am not making several different meals. So pretty much the dietary restrictions that I have, my family also has. Not because they have to, but just because it's easier for all of us to just kind of be on the same page and eat the same meal. Now for my gluten-free pasta, I put my gluten-free noodles. Sometimes I use chickpea pasta, sometimes I use red lentil pasta, sometimes the pasta is simply gluten-free. But whatever type of pasta you use, I just heat that up in boiling water. I got this very cute lemon salt container in Italy, so I've definitely been putting that to use since I've been back. And once the water is boiling, I add in my noodles, and then I start getting started on my meat side. So I add everything differently. Sometimes I add onions, and then I also add tomatoes or sweet peppers, diced tomatoes. Tonight I'm just simply making diced onions. I have not gone to the grocery store in quite a while, so we're just kind of making do until I go. So tonight's gluten-free spaghetti is a simple one. We're just dicing up some tomatoes, or sorry, not tomatoes. We're dicing up some onions and putting it in the pan with our ground beef. And speaking on the ground beef, I love the vlog, YouTube videos, whatever you want to call them, of Farmhouse on Boone. And she has got me started taking a 9x13 pan and putting it in the fridge and setting meat in there for the week. Now, whenever I set the meat in there, I don't have necessarily a plan in mind. I'm not really one who plans out what exactly I'm gonna have every week. I don't have like a whiteboard, a clear board on my fridge and writing down everything that I'm doing. It's just not me. I have tried in the past, but it's just not what I do. However, I have loved this concept of setting out, 5 or 6 different meats in the fridge and taking them out day by day and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to make with this today. So on top of my meat, our ground beef, and our diced onions, I added this seasoning concoction that my husband came up with, and we just put it in a generic bottle that we have left over, washed it out, and started putting the seasoning in there. But it is onion powder and garlic powder and salt and pepper, and we use it on everything. So that is what I put on top of my ground beef. Now, for whatever reason, I have been on a sweet tea kick. I use green tea bags instead of like a black tea bag. So that is what I am making here, is green tea. I don't use white sugar. I use a refined cane sugar, sugar in the raw. that is what I have sweetened my sweet tea with. And my husband could definitely go for more sugar in our sweet tea. But I'm like, listen, I'm making it, normally we are only drinking water. So the fact that we have sweet tea is a bonus. Now, I am starting my noodles. This brand I'm using is Barilla, and I used 2 different ones actually. I did a chickpea one and a red lentil one. I always feel like it is such a struggle to get all of the noodles down inside of the pan. I'm just like, listen, eventually you will all get down there and it'll be fine. I always add a splash of olive oil for whatever reason. To me, when cooking gluten-free noodles, a splash of olive oil helps them not to clump together. That's just my little tip on how to keep them separated. And gluten-free noodles do also take a lot longer to cook. So if you're not familiar with gluten-free noodles, it is kind of a learning curve, but it's just so much better for my gut personally. And like I said, I'm just super excited to start making homemade pasta. Now, I always get different types of spaghetti sauce. Tonight I'm using Rayo's. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. But just their regular marinara. I always have such a hard time opening up my spaghetti bottles. If you're also in the same, let me know in the comments. If my husband is not home to help me, I'm just on the struggle bus basically. But I do also add just a splash of water in there so that I get all the goodness out. Now, since it is just a regular marinara, I do like to season it up a little bit. So I'm putting in some garlic powder and some pepper. And then I will also put on just a little bit of basil. And I'm going to turn this down and let it simmer. So while that is simmering, then the pasta can be going and everything will end up being ready pretty much at the same time. Now, tonight was super busy. We have, obviously my daughter went to school today, and then after school it's kind of like a rush home, get our gymnastic leotard on and get over to gymnastics. I feel like I'm always in the car running around. It's definitely, I feel like something that gets on my husband's nerve because he's like, we're putting so many miles on the car and so much gas. And I'm like, yeah, but it's part of being a mom. Like I have to do, school drop off and school pickup, and we're going to sport activities, and it's just part of the job. So we had gymnastics tonight, and that picks us getting home about 5:20, I would say. So I am one who is very much so strict on my daughter's bedtime, simply because I know that if she gets a good night's rest, she will get up in the morning and will get to school on time and she'll have a better day. So in the evenings, whenever we have something going on, whenever we get home, I have her, clean up a mess. If she has a mess, like tonight, she needed to clean up her playroom just a little bit. And then I have her go ahead and take her shower and get her pajamas on. And then I will give her her supper. And tonight after supper, she's actually going to also be completing a little bit of homework. She doesn't have homework every night per se right now. Her teacher just sends home like 5 or 6 pages that are front and back, and she has to complete them that week and turn them in. So I guess right now I should be grateful that she doesn't have homework every single night. But I don't know about you guys, but with our cardboard boxes, My husband likes those broken down. He pretty much likes for them to be burned in our backyard down by the creek. But since these boxes of what our spaghetti came in is so small, I was like, I'm just going to break these down and put them in the trash can. It'll be fine. So now that the noodles are done, I'm going to strain them, and I always put some cold water on top of them. Honestly, I don't even remember if I did this whenever I cooked regular noodles, but like I said, with gluten-free noodles, for me, it just works better to add some olive oil so they don't stick, and then to rinse them down whenever they are done so that they also don't stick. Now, oh my goodness, look at this meat. Some people might call this like their meat ragu, but it just looks so good. It smells so good. I love caramelizing these onions to put in there with that. Like I said, sometimes we add diced tomatoes or some diced sweet peppers, but it is just onions and it's going to be perfect. Now, I always do my daughter's bowl first, and I am making her quite a hefty bowl because she absolutely adores spaghetti. Like, it's just one of her favorites. So I always make hers first so that it has time to cool down, and whenever she gets out of the shower, she can enjoy this. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do, and I look forward to giving you guys many more videos.